with beautiful Hazel, who's always gorgeous and always smiling. Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
It's so mad just to see how much, like, she's got two teeth now. She's gotten, because she's been here since she was such a small little baby.
I know.
Hi. So come here, let's talk about crawling and the benefits of crawling, because you often hear, oh, mine never crawled, went straight to walking.
Yes, you do often hear that.
So what ages should they start crawling?
So they'll probably start to develop crawling around kind of 8-9 months of age.
8-9 months?
Yes, yeah. So we used to kind of, historically, would say kind of around the 6-month age mark. But, you know, with the advent of wooden and tile floors, where it's not as easy to grip, they're a little bit later. So the whole, everything that we've been doing has been building up now to developing everything that is required to enable little ones to crawl. And I've been talking about these primitive reflexes all along as well. So there's a couple of primitive reflexes involved in actually helping develop crawling. And there's one which is the amphibian reflex, which is when your little one is on the tummy time, and then, you know, we were talking about where they can rotate around, you know, playing on the floor, and they're literally turning themselves around. So that is the amphibian.
How can you develop that from that stage then to get them to crawl?
So and then they have this STNR, which is symmetrical tonic neck reflex. So when the head goes down, basically the legs will straighten and the arms will bend. And these are all these primitive reflexes that when you get your little ones up on their hands and knees and they just start that rocking, so it's before they actually start to crawl, that's actually those primitive reflexes being integrated and means the brain is ready now for the next movements. So there's lots of lovely things that we can do. So when we were doing the last time, we were talking about sitting, and I was suggesting putting toys either side to allow for the sitting. Wasn't I? We were saying, and put toys
Before we came on, we were like, she has never cried on the television. And they were like, Alan, stop it. You're going to jinx it.
You'll jinx it. Not to tell. Isn't that right, monkey? Isn't that right? And so, what's going on?
Hi.
Where's Peppa?
Teething like a magic.
She's teething, it's the teeth. So then, a great thing to do is actually when you're getting your little one playing on the floor with lots of little toys like this, you put them on, if you have sofa cushions that you can take down, put little toys on the sofa cushions like that. And then what you're going to do is you'll encourage them then in their kneeling position. So they're kneeling and they're playing, which is a really great thing. So it's encouraging them to reach then as well.
Hazel, what are we doing to you?
Oh, the poor little thing. But so there's that kneeling position there. So again, so when they're upright, they're kind of they're reaching, but they're also building their core. So it's really important for core strength.
And they can fall onto the cushion.
And they can fall forward. You're encouraging then as well the strength in the hands and in the arms. Oh no, the poor Papa. Oh, what's up?
What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you?
Great TV, just 3 adults going, oh, talking baby talk, Are you sick of us?
And then when you get to that
so that's a great one. Maybe
I think maybe
we'll
Mom.
Mom.
We'll drop her out. Will I bring her out? Come on.
Okay.
Come on. You come here. You come here.
So then, how do you move on from that?
So when they're in this position and they're playing, and you get them to play with little things on here. So it's working actually the hip flexors, which is really important. And then as they develop then and they're getting a little bit older, you can actually encourage them to reach across. So you know maybe put the toy
onto the
on
other
the other side
cushion.
of the cushion, and then get them to reach up, and so you're kind of supporting them. So obviously you're supporting them from the hips, and you're bringing that leg and encouraging that equal kind of, I suppose, fake Hazel. We have the stand-in baby, literally wearing the same outfit. So that's a really good thing for the development there. Now, if you notice as well, then that there's an asymmetry to their crawling, so they might maybe be a bottom hopper, or instead of that cross crawl where they're actually kind of doing a tree leg.
We consider a normal crawl.
Exactly. So the cross crawl is they're up on hands and knees, kind of four hands, 2 hands and 2 knees, and they do the opposite arm, opposite leg, which is really important for kind of symmetrical input into the brain. So we're working the right and left side really, really well together. But what often happens is sometimes you might see a bum shuffler.
Yeah.
And if you often see a bum shuffler, it's often to do with the strength in the core. So they don't have enough strength to actually be able to hold themselves up because it requires a lot of actual strength there. So one way around that would be to actually encourage a lot of rotational kind of play. So when they're in sitting, so that they're playing on either side, so they're working
the core,
and that'll help them then. And then encourage them then to go back down and to do the cross crawl.
And like when they're crawling, like would you put toys out like this to encourage them to get to the toy?
Absolutely. Make an obstacle course, like, you know, so again, use your cushions, use pillows, use little throw cushions, anything like that. Lots of different sensory textures, kind of a couple of different toys. If they have a particular favourite, like snuggly toy, put that maybe at the far end and just basically
like that, building
turn.
that whole environment for them to feel comfortable and like at ease with it all.
Absolutely, yes, 100%. And then just making sure as well that now that this is the first time it's independent locomotion, so that's really important. They're starting to really work against gravity themselves now, so that again that goes towards strengthening, spine strengthening. You know, there's so much the hand-eye coordination, because when they're crawling they tend to watch the leading hand, so they're actually developing that tracking again that I was talking about.
And they were
before.
saying with all of this, you were saying that in future it's good for handwriting.
It
it's
is
good for
indeed.
like it's good for because you do hear it, like you're like, oh, mine started walking straight away, and you're like, no, crawling is an important
crawling
step.
is a really, really important step. I wouldn't rush it. You know, your child can't crawl for too long because they're developing. They will crawl for as long as they need to in order to be able to progress to the next phase.
And then if there's parents looking in this morning whose child is maybe at this stage but not crawling, don't worry about it. Don't be freaking out.
Don't worry about it at all, because they don't they don't know. They haven't been here before. So get down on the floor, play with them. The crawling, actually, if you're doing crawling as a parent, believe it or not, is actually really good sensory input for your own brain to do. So it is, you're getting a bit of words like this one.
And then the thing is, because when they are crawling...
It's really, really, very therapeutic.
And when they're good at crawling, you have to keep your eye on them because they're across that room, and that's something very quickly.
100%. And so move anything that's on the floor.
Like they literally are then grabbing stuff, aren't they? Wires and things.
Check your TV wires. So, you know, kind of make sure they're out of the way. Check your plug sockets. Make sure that there isn't anything that they can get into. Coffee tables, plants, the whole works. Now
they're gone, they're shooting across the room.
Jane Fonda had known how good crawling was for adults. She would have had a video.
I'm telling you, absolutely.
Ollwyn Moran from Cognikids, of course, and Fake Hazel. The first time she has ever cried. We shouldn't have done it. But Hazel, we love you and we miss you. Thank you, Ollwyn. Cheers.